My mother handed my brother a check for $340,000. My inheritance, not his. She told me it was for his dream business, a luxury concierge startup that would change his life. 2 weeks later, he posted photos of a brand new Porsche. There was no business. There never was. But here's the thing. Mom never read page 7 of the trust document she signed. My father's trust. The one that laid out exactly how that money could be used. Page 7 had a clause. A condition. And when it finally came to light, everything changed. Want to know what happened when a judge read that page out loud in open court? Let me take you back 6 months. To the day Dad's lawyer handed my mother that envelope and told her one thing. Read everything. She didn't. Before we go further, drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it? And if you're new here, hit subscribe. You'll want to see how this ends. My father died when I was 19, sudden, no warning. He left behind a trust. Not just money, but a plan. Instructions. He'd worked with an estate attorney for months before his death. He knew exactly what he wanted. The trust was specific. It named my mother as trustee. It named me and my brother as beneficiaries. And it came with rules. Dad's lawyer sat us down a week after the funeral. I remember his words. This isn't just cash. It's a roadmap. Read every page. Keep every document I send you. I did. My brother didn't show up to that meeting. See, my brother was always the golden child. The one who got the apartments paid for, the credit cards cleared, the second and third chances. I worked 2 jobs to pay for community college. He bounced between schemes. App ideas, crypto, dropshipping, nothing stuck. Mom enabled him. She always had. He just needs the right opportunity, she'd say. I kept my head down. I got a degree in finance. Learned to read contracts, balance sheets, legal terms. I kept every letter Dad's lawyer ever sent me in a binder. Organized, dated. Dad had told me once, years before he got sick, paper trails matter. I didn't realize how much until the day my brother walked into Mom's house with a business plan and a smile. That was 3 years after Dad died. That's when everything started to unravel. Mom called a family meeting. Sunday dinner. She said it was important. I showed up. My brother was already there. He looked confident. Too confident. Mom set down her fork and cleared her throat. Your brother has an incredible opportunity. He launched into his pitch. A luxury concierge service. High net worth clients. Private events. Exclusive experiences. He had a logo. A website mock-up. Projected revenue charts. I just need startup capital, he said. $350,000. Maybe less. I felt my stomach drop. Mom nodded along. She was smiling. I think your father would want us to support family when they're ready to build something real. I looked at my brother, then at her. Mom, the trust has guidelines. Distributions have to be for specific purposes. Education, a home, medical, or verified business investments with documented. She cut me off. I'm the trustee. I decide what's reasonable. My brother leaned back. He was enjoying this. You got your college fund. This is my turn. I tried again. Has the trust attorney reviewed this? Mom's face tightened. I don't need a lawyer to help my own son. She slid a paper across the table. A disbursement form. From her personal bank. Not the trust administrator. It was already signed. Dated that morning. The money transfers in 48 hours. My brother looked at me. Stay out of this, or you'll regret it. I stood up. I didn't say a word. I just left. I called Dad's lawyer the next morning. He'd retired, but he took my call. I explained what happened. He sighed. Your mother, as trustee, has broad discretion. Unless the terms are clearly violated, it's hard to challenge. What if the business isn't real? Then you'd need proof. And even then, litigation is expensive and slow. I felt the walls closing in. 2 weeks later, my brother posted on Instagram. A Porsche 911, jet black. Dealer tag still on? Caption, dreams do come true. The next post. Bottle service at a club downtown. Designer watch. Vacation in Miami. I scrolled through every photo. No business, no office. No clients. Just luxury. I called my mother. Have you seen what he's doing with the money? He's celebrating. He deserves to be happy for once. Mom, there's no business. Her voice went cold. You've always been jealous of him. I'm done with this conversation. She hung up. I sat in my apartment. The money was gone. $340,000. My father's final gift. Wasted on a car and a lifestyle. I thought I'd lost. But that night, I went to my file cabinet. I pulled out the original trust document, not the summary Mom had been given. The full deed, embossed seal, signatures, notarized. I started reading. And on page 7, I found it. Clause 12. Conditional disbursement and clawback provision. I read it 3 times. Trust funds may only be distributed for the following purposes: education expenses, primary residence purchase, documented medical emergency, or verified business investment. The trustee has a fiduciary duty to confirm legitimacy and maintain records. Misuse of funds triggers an automatic clawback provision and removal of the trustee. Beneficiaries retain the right to petition for enforcement. My father had built in a safeguard. Mom wasn't just bending the rules. She'd broken them. I looked at the disbursement form she'd signed. It was a generic withdrawal slip from her bank. 1 page, no trust letterhead, no attorney review, no verification. The real trust protocol required 3 things: a business plan reviewed by a third party, proof of entity registration, and quarterly audits. None of that had happened. I pulled out my phone. I took photos of page 7, the clause, the signature block, the notary stamp. Then I called a trust litigation attorney. Her name was Caroline. She listened to everything. Do you have the original document? Yes. And proof of what the money was actually spent on? Instagram photos, posts, geotags, I can get more. She paused. You have standing, but we need his bank records. A full accounting. How do I get that? We ask your mother for it formally, and if she refuses, we petition the court. I booked a consultation for the next day. I had the first receipt. Now I needed the rest. I hired Caroline, used my savings. $1,500 for the retainer. She drafted a formal letter. A request for trust accounting. Sent to my mother via certified mail. Mom didn't respond to the letter. She called me. How dare you? I just want to see the records, Mom. It's my right as a beneficiary. This is harassment. You're trying to destroy this family. I'm trying to protect Dad's wishes. She hung up. 3 days later, my brother sent me a text. Back off or I'll make sure Mom cuts you out of everything. Then another. You've always been a jealous, bitter person. Everyone sees it. I didn't reply, but Mom did something worse. She called my aunt, my uncle, 2 family friends. She told them I was being greedy, that I was attacking her and my brother over money. My aunt called me in tears. Please just let this go. You're tearing the family apart. I tried to explain. She didn't want to hear it. The pressure was everywhere. And then Caroline told me something I hadn't considered. The clawback provision has a statute of limitations. 6 months from disbursement. How long has it been? 4 months. I had 8 weeks left. My brother kept posting. New furniture. Designer clothes. Another trip. He thought he'd won. But then he made a mistake. A big one. And it handed me everything I needed. My brother applied for a loan. He wanted more money. Used the concierge business as collateral. The bank ran a credit check. They also ran a corporate entity search. Nothing came up. No LLC, no business registration. No tax ID. The bank tried to contact him. He didn't respond. So they reached out to a family reference he'd listed on an old loan application. Me. I got a letter from the bank's loan officer. We are unable to verify the existence of the business entity listed by the applicant. If you have information regarding this matter, please contact our office. I forwarded it to Caroline immediately. She filed for pre-litigation discovery. It's a legal tool. You can subpoena records if you have a good faith basis for a claim. We had one. 2 weeks later, we got my brother's bank statements. 90 days worth. The spreadsheet was damning. $78,000 for the car, $14,000 for a watch, $31,000 on travel, $22,000 at nightclubs and restaurants. Business expenses? 0. Caroline looked at me across her desk. He didn't just lie to your mother. He lied to a bank. That's fraud. I stared at the numbers. What do we do? We file a petition to enforce the trust and remove your mother as trustee. And we include every receipt. I nodded. We had him. Before we filed, Caroline did more digging. She requested my brother's credit report as part of the discovery process. He was $60,000 in debt. Credit cards maxed. Personal loans and collections. Mom had known. Caroline found emails. My mother had accidentally CC'd the trust's administrative email on a few messages to my brother. They were part of the record. One of them said this: "I can't watch you struggle anymore. If I don't help you now, I'll lose you. I can't lose another person I love." I read that line over and over. This wasn't about hating me. It wasn't even about favoritism, really. Mom was drowning. She'd lost my father. She was terrified of losing my brother. And he knew it. He'd weaponized her grief. He'd handed her a story about a dream, about finally turning his life around. And she'd believed it because she needed to. It didn't excuse what she did, but it explained it. I wasn't angry anymore. Not the same way. I just felt sad. And clear. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to humiliate anyone. I wanted my father's wishes honored. I wanted the truth on record. And I wanted to make sure this never happened again. Caroline looked at me. "Are you sure you want to go forward?" I didn't hesitate. Yes, now I knew exactly what to do. Caroline filed 2 motions. The first, a petition to enforce the trust terms and remove my mother as trustee. The second, an emergency motion to freeze my brother's remaining liquid assets. He still had about $28,000 in his account. We didn't go to the media. We didn't post on social media. We didn't make a scene. We just filed the paperwork. The petition laid it out clearly. The trust clause, the disbursement records, the bank statements, the lack of any business entity. We asked for 3 things. 1, full clawback of the funds. 2, removal of my mother as trustee and appointment of an independent fiduciary. 3, a court order requiring my brother to liquidate assets and repay the trust within 90 days. I also wrote a letter, not for the court, for my mother. I kept it short. "Mom, I know you were trying to help him." But Dad left specific instructions. "I'm going to honor them. I hope one day you'll understand." I had it delivered by courier the same day we filed. No drama, no yelling, just the truth. The court set a hearing date. 3 weeks out. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't post about it. I didn't celebrate. I just waited. And I kept a copy of page 7 in my bag. Every single day. The hearing was in probate court. Small room. Wood paneling. Fluorescent lights. Not dramatic. But final. I sat with Caroline on one side. My mother and brother sat across the aisle with his attorney. Mom wouldn't look at me. The judge walked in. An older woman, calm, no nonsense. "This is a petition to enforce trust terms and remove a trustee. Let's begin." Caroline stood. She walked the judge through it. The trust document. Clause 12. The disbursement form Mom had signed. Then she presented the evidence. Exhibit A, the trust clause requiring verified business investments. Exhibit B, the bank's letter confirming no business entity existed. Exhibit C. My brother's bank statements showing $312,000 spent in 90 days. 0 business expenses. My brother's attorney tried to argue. "Your Honor, my client had every intention of starting the business." The trustee acted in good faith, exercising reasonable discretion. The judge held up a hand. "Counselor, intentions are not disbursements. The trust is a contract. Contracts have terms." She turned to my brother. "Where is the business?" He froze. "Your Honor, I was in the process of, is there a registered entity?" Silence. "Are there business accounts? Employees? Clients?" His lawyer touched his arm. He stopped talking. The judge put on her glasses. She read Clause 12 out loud. Every word. Then she closed the file. This disbursement violated the express terms of the trust. The trustee failed in her fiduciary duty to verify the legitimacy of the claimed business investment. She looked at my mother. "Mrs. Anderson, you are removed as trustee, effective immediately. The court will appoint an independent fiduciary." Then she looked at my brother. "You are ordered to return all remaining funds and liquidate all assets purchased with trust money. You have 90 days. Failure to comply will result in contempt proceedings and referral for fraud investigation." She signed the order. The petitioner is named as contingent beneficiary with veto authority over future disbursements. We are adjourned. The gavel came down. My brother's face went pale. My mother was crying quietly. I sat completely still. It was over. My brother sold the Porsche 2 weeks later. He liquidated everything. The watch, the furniture, drained his accounts. He repaid $286,000. The court put a lien on his income for the rest. A payment plan. 5 years. He moved in with a friend. Got a job in sales. Nothing glamorous, but steady. No jail time. No public scandal. Just real consequences. Mom didn't speak to me for 4 months. Then one day I got a text. I read the whole trust. All of it, I'm sorry. We met for coffee a week later. It wasn't a reconciliation. It was an acknowledgement. She told me she'd been so afraid of losing him that she couldn't see what she was doing. I told her I understood, but that didn't mean I could let it go. We didn't hug. We didn't make promises, but we were honest. And that was something the independent trustee took over. A retired financial planner. No emotional entanglements. I applied to use a portion of the trust for graduate school. It was an approved expense under the terms. The trustee reviewed it, approved it in 3 days. I also donated $50,000 to a financial literacy nonprofit. In my father's name. They put a plaque on the wall of their community center. In memory of Robert Anderson, a man who believed in planning for the people you love. I see my brother once or twice a year now, holidays, structured, civil. We don't talk about the money. My relationship with my mom is limited. Boundaries in place. I don't ask her for anything. She doesn't ask me. It's not warm, but it's stable. And I'm okay with that. Because I learned something through all of this. The win wasn't the money. It wasn't even the court ruling. It was keeping a promise to my father. And learning that love without accountability isn't really love. It's just enabling dressed up in good intentions. My dad knew that. That's why he put it in writing. Paper trails are love letters to your future self. So here's my question for you. Would you have done the same thing? Or would you have let it go to keep the peace? Drop your answer in the comments. I read everyone. And if this story meant something to you, hit subscribe. We tell the ones that need to be told. One last thing. This is a fictionalized dramatization based on real experiences. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're facing a trust dispute, talk to a licensed attorney in your area. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.